that we're going the wrong way and that there's love available. If only we would have it. Sorry? But we would rather our own love from our own foul hearts that can't even produce love if we tried, but can produce hatred on demand, and envy and covetousness and anger. All of those things our heart is very adept at producing. But love and forgiveness, it's almost impossible for this culture. We don't even have a language for love and forgiveness. What did you say? I lived as a gay man for 15 years. That doesn't mean anything to me. How lost are our youth? They don't even know how to talk. They don't know how to articulate an idea, but they can march at Pride. They can wear colors on their back. What is it? What's that? What's that? Yeah, no, they're just the mockers and the scoffers. What's your name?
Matthew.
Matthew, I'm William. You know that's a biblical name, right?
Yeah, I know.
You have a biblical, yeah. Have you read the Bible?
No, but I should. My friend, he read it a bunch. He told me it's good stuff.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Christians, they know the Bible. Lots of them know it by heart, but many of them are sinners worse than I've ever seen. And so the call of God is not to love a word that's on a page, but the one who made the word on the page, okay? So if you're reading the Bible, you have to be knocking at the door. Jesus says, knock and it shall be opened unto you. But people can read the Bible all they want. If you don't want anything better for your spirit, your soul, and your life, then he's not going to give you anything better. But if you're asking, that's different. And that's what we don't know. That's why parents let their kids, like those two lesbians, yeah, right, nobody believes that, whatever they are. That's why those kids exist like that, mocking a preacher of God who lived way worse than they'll ever probably live. Because I had the guts to live that life to its logical conclusion, and it's death. All of that is death. And they don't even know it because they don't have parents to tell them that. They don't have parents with courage to tell them that.
Will they have to find that out on their own, sort of? Or like...
Yeah, of course. But they also need their elders to have the wisdom and the courage.
Somebody say to love everybody.
Jesus says that the purpose of life is to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
But you can't love your neighbor.
Lesbian.
What's that?
Even if your neighbor's lesbian.
Yeah, even if your neighbor is a lesbian, right? But you have to tell people the truth. If they're going off a cliff, what are you going to just be like, oh yeah, you identify as a cliff jumper, good job.
I mean that's deadly.
What's deadly?
Jumping off a cliff.
Yeah, so is homosexuality. It's deadly.
Well, in a way, it's kind of, I feel like it's good for society in a way, because overpopulation, right? How are we going to deal with overpopulation?
This is all a narrative that's just been hand-fed to you, man. This is a narrative of this world that, there's no such thing, man.
Do you know what the metaphor of the Garden of Eden really means? In a deep sense, that metaphor?
It was literally a Garden of Eden. It's not a metaphor.
And you know what the Garden of Eden was? It was the world before civilization. Because that's when the world was under the dominion of God, under the dominion of nature. And then when humans started to farm, they took away, it's like they ate the apple of the tree of knowledge, right? They took the knowledge of good and evil. And that's when humans started to decide which animals and which other humans can live and die.
No, okay, hold on, just 1 second. You're talking about nature's dominion, and you said God's dominion. The Garden of Eden, specifically it says in the Bible, okay, God granted man to have dominion over the earth. So you missed the one entity that actually had dominion and was granted and still has dominion to this day, by the way. God never retracted that. So man had dominion over the earth, over the Garden of Eden, still had dominion over the earth, even after sin happened, okay? God never God never subtracted that or added to that. We have always had dominion, but it's the satanic rulers of this world, okay, that want us to believe that there is a mother nature. Okay, that is a lie that Satan has been giving to mankind ever since the Garden of Eden. Okay, that mother nature. Adam was actually given the task to name the animals and the plants. Okay, so science was part of Adam's duty when he was in the Garden of Eden, and it's still after the Garden of Eden. Science was still his duty to describe, to categorize. Okay, that was all part of the task that God gave us to do. Okay, Satan takes everything that God gives and corrupts it, turns it the exact opposite way, doesn't change it. Like, science still exists, but Satan will just reverse, he'll invert it. He'll make it so that if God said you have dominion, no, nature has dominion.
Okay, so sure, I guess man had dominion, but didn't the devil, to wage war on God, sneak into the Garden of Eden and trick them into eating the apple, right?
Okay, you can't say sneak. Nothing happens without God's permission.
Well, yeah.
Nothing happens. So Satan fell from heaven, right? Satan was the original sinner. What was his sin? Do you remember his original sin?
He waged war on heaven.
His sin was what we celebrate every summer. Every summer the parade goes through downtown. What do they call that? What do they call that?
Gay pride parade?
That's right. Pride. They call it pride.
Oh, pride.
That's the actual first sin, was Satan's sin of pride. Okay, it's no accident that we celebrate pride every summer. That is no accident. Okay, that's biblical. There's biblical roots to everything that you see that's happening in the world. So that's the original. So he fell.
Bible?
Yeah, this is New Testament.
Wow.
Do you want John? I can give you John if you want.
John?
John, the book of John.
Okay.
Yeah, it's small, right? It's easy to read.
The book of Matthew, do you?
The book of Matthew is here. I would give it to you, but like, this is.
Let's go.
No, the book of Matthew that's actually my go-to for people. Like,
oh yeah, it's a good one, right?
Most people
got a good quote from it.
Most people give like John as the first book to read, but I like Matthew as the first book to read.
Oh, so it's a good starter, John.
Yeah. Most people will recommend John first. I don't know where it is. I recommend Matthew, actually. I recommend your name.
Nice.
Here. Okay, so this is John.
Oh,
It's not the greatest translation, all right? So, but it's a good.
I love how pocket size it is.
Yeah, right? So that's a really good, because like it begins the way that Genesis begins, in the beginning, right? So that's how John actually starts. It starts the same way that Genesis starts.
The word was God.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's a good opener. If you get more into it, here's the thing. I don't care if you're into the Bible. I don't care if you're into like church, okay? I could care less. The only thing that a preacher cares about is if you have a personal relationship directly with God. That's it. If you're reading a word, you're reading a word so that you can have that relationship. That's it.
Yes.
It's not to make yourself righteous. It's not so that, all of a sudden I know what the truth is and I'm going to be like, oh, I know God said this. And well, no, that's not why that word exists. That word exists so that you can have that relationship with God and you can submit. But you have to submit. You can't be prideful. You can't retain a prideful heart as if you're a good person. Because believe me, you're not a good person. I don't know you, but I guarantee 100%, if you were to meet God today, it would not go well for you.
Be interesting.
Yeah, but that's what repentance is. That's what the turning away from the world is. I have to do that daily. I wish I could be out preaching more because that's how I worship God, you know?
Do you preach at a church?
No. I don't preach anywhere except on the streets. I don't go to church, man.
Very underground.
Not really. Is this underground? I'm on top right here.
Yeah. Very punk rock.
No, man. Punk rock is all a creation of Satan. All the music industry is run by Satan. If you open your eyes, if you have the eyes to see, all these things will be manifest to you.
What about when Mozart I don't know. I just watched a Mozart movie, or no, you know, in the movie, the guy.
Oh, Satan was very involved.
It sounds like the sounds of the heavens.
Look,
I mean,
when did Mozart? When was Mozart killed? Do you know how old he was?
He's young.
Yeah, like 31 maybe.
Oh, he was killed.
Yeah, he was killed. He was poisoned.
Oh shit.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe
or Jesus.
you can look it up. Jesus was killed at 33. All the biggest musicians, not all of them, but a lot of them, have been killed at the age of 27.
Yeah, 27. Yeah.
But that's no accident. All right, all of these industries are run by Satanists, by Luciferians at the highest level.
Well, I believe capitalism is, you know.
Well, I mean,
because that's what I. So
what does that mean though? Like, does that mean you're a communist, or what does that mean? Like, capitalism just is like the right to private property, basically. That's what capitalism is.
But that's where, I mean, yeah, humans have dominion over Earth, but they weren't ready for it, I guess, or because yeah, we got so many problems now. We got overpopulation. We got there's not going to be enough animals.
Overpopulation is a lie.
Food. The soil is dying. You know, they're cutting down the rainforest. Like, it's not.
Look, I totally agree. I think that we need to be taking care of the earth. That's a mandate from God. All right, but to say that we're overpopulating the earth and that we ourselves, by our overpopulation, are a risk to the earth, is to say that the earth means more than us. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, we don't live without the earth. The earth is the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, so how about we start taking care of the earth? Have you noticed that?
Exactly.
Have you noticed that? All the rulers of the world are perfectly happy for us to destroy the forests and to produce batteries by spending massive amounts of fuel in foreign countries that are actually worse for the environment than if we never had electric vehicles in the first place. But they're fine with all of those things, all right? So long as we believe that we're the source. That your breath that you exhale.
The original sin, or whatever got us kicked out of the Garden of Eden, that's the source. So I mean,
sin.
So humans sin, and the sin is civilization. IMO.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's kind of truth in that.
Think about it in the Garden of Eden, like everything was in balance. Like before civilization, humans could not eat too many animals so that like the antelope wouldn't repopulate or something, right? Or they couldn't.
Dude, look, let me just, they're literally mandating milk producers to destroy their milk right now in Canada. Do you understand that? Okay? Like by thousands of gallons, they're forced to destroy their milk.
Really?
Yeah. Milk producers.
Seems like a waste.
But that's the way this world is. They want you to believe that you're overpopulating. They want you to believe that there's not enough for you. But they're the ones who are destroying the stuff that there's not enough of.
Artificially created.
They want people like you and me to feel guilty. Because as long as we're guilty for what they say we're doing, then they can control us. And that's how this world is run. So when you're talking about civilization, it's true. Nimrod was the first real developer of civilization. Okay, his father, and Aaron, like you see in the fashion industry, they do throwbacks to this thing because they still worship Nimrod. Okay, in this world. So Hermes was a major fashion brand. That was the father of Nimrod. Okay, he started Babylon. He's the one who founded basically Babylon. Okay. And their main goal was to just give God the middle finger, basically, and say, we're going to get to heaven without you. We don't need you, God. Okay, that was actually the foundations of all civilization, was in Babylon, ancient Babylon. And even secular archaeologists will say this to you. Everybody agrees. Civilization started in Babylon. What they won't tell you is that those people knew very well that God existed. Okay, they knew it very well because they had just come out of the flood. All right, and though God had promised Noah and his descendants that he wouldn't flood the earth again, they knew that they were still under the judgment of God, and they hated that because they wanted to do as they wanted to do. They wanted to, just like we are today, okay? They wanted to have the big cars in their day. They wanted to have the big houses. They wanted to live the way they wanted. They wanted to have lust. They wanted to have women. Women have been a major epicenter of man's sin, okay, from forever, since the garden. Okay.
I feel like men. I feel like again with the civilization, a lot of it's built on it's patriarchy, but they
hated the patriarchy.
They put men above women, right? But if you think about it, women are more important. They're the mothers. They're the life givers. As a human, it's more valuable. A woman's more valuable because she can perpetuate the family. When a man just takes care of a woman, a man's role is to protect the woman so that she can raise the family.
Let me just tell you something really interesting. Okay?
I feel like they've been women have been systematically disrespected through our entire civilized 3,000 years, the last 3,000.
Do you think they are now?
It's and that's the thing, there's it's sort of it's a reaction, right? So we've got even now, yes, because we women to sort of feel empowered, they have to act like men, but that's not embracing the divine feminine. Women have a feminine spirit, which is a different power than a man's power, right? And if you got all these women acting like men, it's just there's no female power, right? There's no female energy in the society.
That's true. So you're defending the distinction between men and women.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely, 100.
So you probably know that there's a very powerful push right now to diminish and eradicate that distinction.
Well, yeah, I know.
Okay. So you're aware. So that's good. So you're at least for that you're on the right track, okay? Because that's what demons don't have gender. I've only met one demon in my life. I met Satan. That's a whole other story.
That's true, isn't it? Demons are
demons don't have gender because they're so fallen and they're so cursed by God. They're cursed to this earth actually, so they can't leave this earth until judgment time. So when Jesus returns, then they'll be cast into the lake of fire and so on and so forth. Okay, but for right now, they're existing here right now with us in the spirit realm. There's millions of demons around this world that you can't see unless you have the Word of God. So, you can't see them physically ever. Okay. They may be able to manifest somewhat for people in sleep state, okay? People can sometimes see demons near their bed, stuff like that. My wife and other women that I know, they experience that.
Night terrors?
Night terrors, yeah.
And my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. That's common for women. It happens to men as well. But they'll target women. Women are the weaker vessel. So they're more susceptible, okay, to that kind of oppression. I don't know about sensitive. They're just weaker, okay. In that.
Probably because that's
in their constitution.
It's also a bit of a strength because they're more.
No, I don't.
touch with that. You know what
they're
I mean?
equally valuable. I never said that they're not as valuable. They are as valuable, okay, as men.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just distincting it as I know what you mean, weaker in constitution.
Yeah.
But I see it as sort of a sensitivity because that can be a strength too, right? It just depends.
I think
it
so.
can also be a weakness.
I think in its place, it's a strength.
Men aren't sensitive enough, and that's probably a weakness. Maybe there's.
I would disagree with that. I think that men are too sensitive right now. Men aren't standing up for anything anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Men aren't defending anything. Men aren't.
That's true.
Right?
You're right. I think there is actually. I think there's a war on. Yeah, making men weak.
Yeah, feminizing men and masculinizing women.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
we
that's
don't have any.
Now you're starting to understand. Okay, this is what I'm telling you. There's a spirit that's behind what you're seeing. That spirit inverts the order that God made. That spirit, that's his only objective. That's his only. You have no idea how much.
This spirit?
Satan.
Oh, okay.
He is a king of his kingdom. And his kingdom controls the world's nations.
Well, yeah, he's controlled the world since
sin. Yeah, since they were evacuated from Eden. He's controlled the world ever since then.